Hello, everyone. I thought I would pull Apollo up here just for a second. He's been traveling with me. He's waking up from a nap, pretty happy. Welcome, everybody, to the Weekly Collective. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This reading is going to help you navigate all the twists, the turns, the opportunities in the week ahead. It's a pleasure to see you. This will be my last day traveling. Thank goodness. It's been a month, a little bit over a month that I've been going from place to place. So I will be back in Los Angeles later tonight. But I wanted to make sure that we got this done right on time, and then I leave a couple hours after this. So really good to see all of you. Thank you so much for your patience as I've been traveling. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I saw some people saying it's kind of like an adventure, and that's how I'm approaching it as well. All right. Again, if you're brand new here, we're going to look at some channeled messages first, then a 7-day forecast, and then a topic that you chose for me. And today it's basically leaving no stone unturned in your life, which in effect is helping me also look at areas where you might be missing something. So it's kind of a little bit of both. But let's talk about channel messages. And I definitely was picking up on some things in dreams this morning. One of the things reminded me back when I was in journalism school of a phrase calling bearing the lead. And it's like getting to the point. So if you've ever looked at a TV show or read a newspaper article or you're opening up a new book and you kind of keep thinking, like, what's the point, right? What am I tuning into? That's kind of what I was getting in communication in dreams. So if there's something important to say, obviously there's always a little bit of small talk, there's always a little bit of warming up, but eventually you really want to set people up for like the expectations of the conversation. So don't kind of like beat around the bush is another way to say it. Also, what I got with this is just to be as honest and as clear as possible. People appreciate that. And, you know, I think that there's a nice happy medium between being polite and kind of like, again, taking too long to get to the point. So that was the first thing that came through. And the other thing here was the importance of I'm a firm believer it's important to delegate things and to be able to multitask, but there may be something that really is deserving of your time and attention. And if it's kind of like, don't pass off something that you should be taking care of. So directness is actually a very big part of what I'm picking up on here. Be direct, be honest, be accountable if there's something that you should be focusing on. And this is it's going to show a level of maturity that people respect in leaders, and I think it's going to hopefully help, the other party rise up, if you will. So those are the main two things that came through this morning. And at the very end, I'm also seeing, I don't think it's all happening this week, but the beginning of like a pivot. That's kind of what Spirit was showing me, was like almost like you're cranking the wheel of a car. And so it takes a few times if you have to do a really big turn. And so this is the beginning. It's like 1 or 2 or 3 steps to get that direction moved. So that could be about the rest of this month. What are we on? Until the end of this month. So some of you are starting a 2 to 3 part journey to make a directional shift. So over the next few weeks, we'll check in on that, but that's what I was picking up on today. Let's go ahead now and get into the 7-day forecast. This portion of the forecast is going to help you navigate in a much more granular way what's coming through in the week ahead. This portion of the reading is for everybody present, so good to see you. Welcome. All right, let me see which deck of cards I want to use for this. All right, I think I'm going to use this little tiny deck here for this. Actually, it's going to be hard to see it, so we'll use the bigger one as I'm thinking about this. All right, as I'm shuffling the cards, I'd like you to close your eyes and just imagine a circle of white light around your body, across which only positive energy can pass, higher insights, and we'll welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Tuesday should be an interesting day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're running out of room, but we'll make do. All right. Let me just kind of get these organized. And that's good. All right. So we're going to start off with the energy for today, this Sunday. And we have everybody's favorite card, Death and rebirth. This, as you know, actually is one of my favorite versions of death because it carries with it the understanding that just because something's stepping out of your life, it doesn't mean that there's necessarily going to be nothing in its place. Sometimes it's kind of like if you have to do a home improvement or you're bringing in a new piece of furniture, you have to clean the space and hold some space for something better. And for many of you, that's what this week is offering. That's what today is offering. A little bit of the clearing so that the new energy can come forth. This can also be just about letting go. A decision that I'm done with this chapter. I've learned what I need to from this relationship. And or if you're looking at like letting go of a habit in your life, you'll say this habit doesn't serve me. There's something where it's almost like you've graduated. And now the question, once you've had that epiphany, is when will I ease into the change and what comes after it? A little bit of strategizing. And not to the point where it's like you don't have to decide today. You're just beginning the next step, like the what if and the what next. Because it feels like on some levels, the closing of the book has already happened. That means that there's like a blank space, a brand new page in front of you, and it gets exciting, but don't let it be overwhelming. Get out there and explore a little bit. Death and rebirth is also about imagining something beyond what you thought you could do, beyond what your mom thought, your dad thought, society thought. It's a chance to daydream, and not in a way that's putting pressure on you rather, okay? Have a little bit of fun with that. It can also be more of a, there could be something that's exiting out of your life, or you may be asked to make a change. And that really is part of this too, is just making a change. Because death and rebirth and transformation, they're all the same energies. Death happens a little faster. Transformation is more like a chrysalis. Rebirth also takes a little bit of germination and time. But the precipitating piece is the understanding that something needs to exit out, okay? So no matter where you are, I said some of you might, it's kind of like the three different parts there, which is the realization, the sort of gestation or, sort of internal birthing of something, and then the release. So 3-part process. Grief has many more, like at least 5 different parts to it. So allow yourself to move through that process at your own pace, okay? All right. Let's take a look now at what's going on here with Monday. All right, on Monday, we have the 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords here is basically a chance or an opportunity for you to step into just honesty, integrity, being yourself, really making sure that, if you say you're going to do something, you do something. So follow through is going to be integral to that. And I also think that with this, if there's anybody in your life that is trying to get away with something, trying to do something that isn't quite right, you really want to make sure that you call it out sooner than later. And it doesn't have to be like a gigantic conversation. Just say, no, that's not what we talked about. And course correct. Say, this is what we agreed to. And then you can show them. So it can just be a very quick conversation to ease out what someone may be trying to get away with. And in your own life, it's just an encouragement to be as honest and forthright as possible, okay? Let me see if there's anything else here. Listen to other people. So I'm looking at the crow in the foreground here, and it's a voice of reason. Sometimes there could be a person in your life that's coming through and just saying, are you sure about that? And it's not a critical sort of voice. It's not sort of like solely critical. It might be constructive. Have you thought about this? It could just be a reality check. So if you have someone in your life that cares enough to say, wait a second, this doesn't sound right, just listen. You can take it or leave it. So that's what I get here. There may be someone sounding the alarm or being a voice of reason. You may be the voice of reason. There just may be someone that either misinterpreted or maybe is trying to get away with something. So clear, honest, and very, very direct communication. This is what the my channel message was all about, is really just not burying the point, getting to the point much faster, okay? I do think if there's any sort of contractual agreements that you're looking, like any sort of signatures, and you don't understand something, I would push it off until Tuesday. Tuesday looks pretty good. I said it was interesting, 2 cards stuck together. Let's break it down. So we're looking now at Tuesday. The presenting energy is very favorable. We have 10 of Pentacles coming through. 10 of Pentacles, of course, can represent very good things when it comes to money and to resources. This can be teamwork also, and things getting completed. So this is basically the universe coming through and saying, don't be a perfectionist. You can let go of something. And also, teamwork makes the dream work. It's a great time to work well with others. Family is also represented by the Ten of Pentacles, so there may be some things going on where you're being tugged between two different directions. Your home life, your work life, your finances are all kind of coming into focus on Tuesday. And lo and behold, it's a busy day. I love that we actually see the Knight in this particular deck running, trying to catch up. Not just running, but running to a motorcycle. So we see like speed with more speed. So take your time, don't rush. The older I get, the more I realize that if you're gonna do something, why not just do it right the first time? It's so much more work to go back and fix it later. And if you're reaching any sort of speed bumps along the way, slow down a little bit during those speed bumps and just make sure, wait, am I in the right direction? Everything looked good. Why are we rushing so much, okay? The other thing here is there could be a very fast-moving contract or agreement that comes forth. And things are changing rapidly with respect to money and resources in your life. This is good if you're in a challenging situation. And if you're doing well, it's saying it's really important to keep up the pace because there's more that wants to come through. Don't put any more on your plate on Tuesday. As I'm looking at these two cards, I keep thinking, I think you got enough going on. So this is a great day to if someone says, hey, can you do one more thing, or can we get that? Just say, you know what? Why don't we push this until like maybe Thursday? So give yourself some time. On the midpoint of the week, Wednesday here, we're having a card that can show what I'm picking up on here could be like a tension headache. For those of you that clench your jaw, you might be feeling pain there. You could also just have a lot of sort of thoughts that aren't necessarily productive. And it's not the Nine of Swords, but you'll notice normally in this card, there's like a bandage around the person's head. So it can just be a fixation in the mind of these things. But the good news with the Nine of Wands, which is what this is it represents nearly being complete. We actually have the Ten of Wands in the very next day. So don't push yourself too hard, especially mentally, okay? Be the light. I love this. I love that instead of getting defensive, she's actually shining a light on something. And it's so powerful to stay neutral. It takes time to find your neutrality, right? When we're younger or when we're emotionally in a place where we're highly sensitive or dealing with a lot, that neutrality is hard to lean into. But I'll give you an example. No is a statement. It's a word. It's everything. It's a full sentence. So if someone asks you something, you can just say no. Like that. And if they say it again, just say no, thank you, but no. Staying neutral, staying polite, holding your ground, it's powerful. Rather than getting sort of angry or anything, just stay in that center space if you can. Now, with respect to any potential setbacks, this card represents the ability to meet the challenge and succeed. So you can manage anything that's going on Wednesday, but you just have to take care of yourself, okay? Again, normally we see someone with a bandage on their forehead here. And so we don't see that here, and that's a good thing. All right, let's take a look at, again, now we're graduating to completion here. So on Thursday, the patience, the calm, the cool, collected sort of energy pays off. What I love about this card is we can see that she's learned how to delegate. This is the one day where delegation is okay. I mentioned that there may be times where you have to do it. I think on Thursday, delegation and release are very much keys to success. Now, in the reverse position, this also represents, so we looked at Wednesday, I mentioned like tension, headaches, jaw clenching, all of that. The Ten of Wands tends to be more on your back. Not necessarily as acute as the Ten of Swords, but like when I was 2 trips ago, when I was going across from the middle of the country to where I'm at right now, I had a back spasm just from sleeping in the wrong position. So I had to basically see a chiropractor when I first came to the East Coast, and I was fine in one day. But that's where the Ten of Wands would be. It's not something that's long lasting. It typically is just you're holding on to too much. So yoga, exercise, massage, If you happen to be at a place, what is it called, like a hot tub or something, where you can just kind of like relax the muscles, that's going to be really important. A little bit of self-care on Thursday. The other thing is you may be traveling, and this is about making sure that you're not packing too much. You're not carrying too much stress with you on the journey. You want to kind of be unburdened at the destination. So one thing that I do sometimes on the plane too is meditate a little bit. So you can listen. I mean, I put in my AirPods too to kind of block out the sound of the airplane. So you can listen to some music, a podcast. You can just turn on noise cancellation. You can take a nap. Do anything that you can if you happen to be on a plane or a train, something where you have a little bit of time and you can disconnect the mental baggage. Otherwise, it's a great day. I would say if there's something that you're trying to get finished, or you're trying to get someone to agree to you on something, like a face-to-face meeting is critical. And it's worth going the distance. And that's basically the big takeaway. If I had to give you, if it was a daily read, I would say, don't be afraid for like self-care and going the distance. Those are the two big gleaning things from Thursday. All right, let's move on to the end of the week. Slowing down and revising is basically what this is about. I love the Page of Swords. She's basically balancing a little bit too much at present. So pull back a little bit, say no again. Saying no is a big thing this week that you want to focus on. But Page of Swords in reverse is also like she's flipping that book and circling things that she may not understand or agree with. And she's saying, let's clarify, let's change. I don't think so. It's also about listening and checking your assumptions. So back when I used to have to work with others in a corporate job, I would just say, I think you said this, and is this the right deadline? Even today, when I was checking out, I was able to save some money because they had me book an extra day. But she was like, no, you can just ask us. You can check out at 3:00, and we'll save you a day and we'll refund your card. And I was like, you never know until you ask. Ask a question. Look at the details. And even today, I'm like, are we good for my checkout? She said 3:30. So always do those double checking things, because sometimes you can save time or money or miscommunication. So that's the big takeaway here is listen carefully, communicate carefully, check that your communication was heard. When I travel, I double and triple and quadruple check. And when I leave, I'll be looking at all the itinerary and everything. So just scrutinize the facts and the details on Friday. And there's no rush. We have a fast-paced card at the beginning of the week. You can actually pump the brakes a little bit as we get closer to the weekend. Speaking of the weekend, let's take a look at the energy for Saturday. And we have growth, recovery, and progress, but slower than you might expect. One of the people I stayed with was a best friend from school, and one of his children loves to kind of work with plants, which I do as well. And so I was taking a tour of their house, and I don't know, there were so many plants, but all these cuttings, and it reminded me of this particular card because it takes time to propagate. And if you're a plant person like I am, you learn to be patient with the plants, and you kind of forget about things a little bit. And one day you wake up and there's all these roots or there's a blossom, and plants teach you the law of detachment. They also teach you how to ground yourself and tune in a little bit. But this is a day to practice the law of detachment. You've set things into motion. Not everything that you want to happen today will necessarily happen, but the process, the roots, the sort of like the fingers that are reaching out there to the future, they're already there. And if you just keep the pace and pace yourself, you're fine. Don't overextend. Don't overpromise. And make sure that if you are going through emotional or physical healing, that you just give yourself a little bit of extra time and space, okay? All right. Now, I'm really loving what I see here for a week from today. When we look at next Sunday, we have some partnership and some assistance coming in, perhaps from a place that you didn't expect. You may also feel the inclination to ask for help. So there's a surprise or an unexpected element when Two of Cups energy is upside down. As you look at it here, it just shows that it doesn't have to be like love or passion. It can be friendship, camaraderie, and deep love. So the kind that you would feel with a best friend, with a cousin, with an aunt, or somebody that doesn't necessarily have to be your mother or father or lover. It can just be someone in your life that platonically and unconditionally loves you. That can also be Two of Cups energy. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help or to receive it. Someone in your life may want to give you a helping hand, but it works both ways. If the hand is outstretched but you don't take it, it's just potential. This is also a reminder that together you're stronger. So if there is something that you're a little bit vexed with, like, I'm not sure how to work this out. I'm not sure how this is going to, I don't know what to do. You can ask for help. You don't have to basically carry the mantle all on your own. Okay? So overall, a pretty darn good week. Let's see if there's any highlights or lowlights that I want to mention. I think the most powerful day is today, because the death and rebirth card kind of sets the trend for the week ahead. Like, what do I want? What don't I want? I think the most challenging day is Monday, because there might be something where either you or someone else is just off path a little bit. There's a voice of reason or an alarm. Listen to that. Even if it is just your inner voice, like, I shouldn't do it, don't. The rest of the week, very manageable. Common theme, slowing down, asking questions, and focusing on clear and honest communication, okay? So the next portion that we're going to look at here is the elements. And basically the elements help us break down in a very small way what's going on with all the signs. So let me go ahead and switch up the decks for this one and see what Spirit wants to say. All right, so we're going to focus here for a moment here to bring in, again, the highest guidance for fire, earth, air, and water. Fire, earth, air, and water. Some beautiful cards coming forth for this week. Okay, so we're going to start off first with the fire signs, making and breaking cycles. So we have here the Eight of Cups, and it actually, as you can tell on this card, is focusing on the breaking of cycles. What's absent from this, possibly because the cycle is broken, is the person. So normally there's a person that's walking away. There's one extra cup that's kind of sitting there and it's open, or like a space for that cup. And now what we've had here is a decision, like, enough is enough. And I mentioned, let me see if I can still find it here. I can. All right. That, I think, has to do with this. If you're ready to say goodbye to something or someone, you can do it this week. If you want something to stick, it works the same way with this card. You can make it or you can break it. This is also a card that is connected to second chances. So if you've always wanted to say something to someone, if you've always wanted to do something, this is the week to, at the very least, explore and see how it's possible and when it's possible. And if you're overworked, or if you need clarity, I just went through the Eight of Cups. I took a little bit over a month away from the place that I lived to get mental clarity, physical clarity, and healing, and just to see where I was absent from the space. This can be a relationship, a job, a place that you might be living. It's something around you. And sometimes you have to get clarity and distance from it before coming back and deciding, am I in or am I out? And that choice is up to you, okay? Pretty good card here because you have options. And don't rush. Definitely with the Eight of Cups, that is sleeping on it, getting yourself time, whether it's a couple of hours, a couple of days, or a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months. The longer you can take to get all of that clarity and information and getting to that place of what? Neutrality, you're good. When you're finally at a place where you just feel it in your bones, you know you've spent enough time. Now, often there is just a time limit on it because sabbaticals only last a certain amount of time, but try to get as much as you can before making that decision, okay? Good week overall, lots of options and lots of opportunities, one of the most powerful cards in the minor arcana, so I feel like you guys are positioned to thrive. Moving from fire to earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Get out there, mix and mingle. Three of Cups. Love the three little birds on this particular illustration. This is a great time for dates, meetings, engagements, any sort of party or gathering. If you own your own business, this can also represent good word of mouth. And the only thing that you want to be mindful of is gossip. You can even sense the gossipy tone in the illustration here, the birds just chattering. People hear what you're saying. We had the Seven of Swords. Monday's the most dangerous day to gossip, but you don't want to gossip. If you're afraid that someone will say something or you have to look around and check your audience, you're saying the wrong thing. It's a good rule of thumb. All right, let me see if there's anything else with this. Moderation. Moderation is key. 3 of Cups and 9 of Cups tend to go to extremes sometimes. So particularly with having fun or with sort of like self-medicating or escapism. So everything in moderation, less is more. You could meet somebody new this week if you're looking for love. You could have an important meeting this week if you're open to get out there and mix and mingle. And people are interested in talking to you. So you may also just find that you're like at the gym, the grocery store, taking out the trash. Neighbors, friends, people that are just randomly around you might come up and talk to you. If you need to use your boundaries, remember we talked about the power of no and repeating it. Feel free to do that. But 3 of Cups is great. It's a celebratory card. Have some fun. Make sure that if you've achieved a certain level of success and you've worked really hard to celebrate and be present in that moment. Okay? All right. And yeah, reading the room is key. I saw that in the comments, but I think it's just a really good way to live, to remember that if it might hurt someone's feelings, you need to elevate the comment or don't say it because it's not right. And so, yeah, it's going to get back to the source eventually anyway. And so only say things that you would want to hear or you'd want people to know. You'd want your mom, your boss, or all of your friends to know. So if you're saying something else, don't say it. It's just a reality check. All right, let's move on to the air signs. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I love that you came through as air here. We have the Page of Swords. I believe we had a page reversed at the end of the week. So you're going to be able potentially to negotiate something in your favor. Use the facts. I love that we have the owl here. So it's really hard to argue with a fact, a figure, or a previously agreed contract, agreed upon contract actually. And I think that's really important. Even though it's not pentacles, we do have the owl, which is just saying, choose your words wisely and use things that are difficult to argue against. And you'll be happy that you did that. Eye contact is the other thing that's coming through, because whenever I think of an owl, I just think of their beautiful eyes. Sometimes they almost look like galaxies and stuff. They have these kind of sparkles and things. But anyway, eye contact. And a little tip is that if you're distracted and you have a hard time figuring out where to focus, like fixate on one eye or just pick a spot and stick with that. And the one eye is a good tip because it helps you from worrying too much in your eyes, from darting too much. It was an interview tip that I once got, and it works pretty well if you don't know the person or if you're trying to figure out what do I do with myself. Keep your hands, keep them just in your lap or on the table. Don't fidget. And again, neutral, calm, present, and eye contact. Those are what's coming through. By the way, great communication card. So if you need to sign on the dotted line, do any public speaking, get something done, just a simple question can make it happen. So when I wanted to negotiate like the room thing here, I basically did it from a point of questioning. I said, hey, when I was booking this, they made me do an extra day. Is that necessary? I didn't say, please give me my money back and I want to just do, I started it in a more polite way. Because I even thought about it. I'm like, I'm leaving before. I'm not going to even be here that night. And she's like, no, it's not necessary at all. Let me see what I can do. Because when you're working as a team, it's better. When you're demanding, not so good. So if you want something, start with a question. That's the takeaway here, okay? Good week overall for air signs. Great week coming up here for water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, you got the world. This is completion. This is a new cycle. This is things coming to a close. This is also you stepping out, stepping up, kind of like really trying on something new. In the realm of a relationship, this can be like an engagement, a birth. In career, this can be graduation. There could be even like if you have a house, it's expanding it. If you're looking at your money, it's expanding it. If you're feeling trapped, if you're feeling blocked, it's about pushing through the glass ceiling and saying, what else can I do? Where else can I go? What else is possible? And sometimes in comments, people will say, well, I can't do this. I won't do this. This is it. So let's just put those to the side for a second. What if, how can I do this? Kind of go more into that way of thinking, because the world is about trying something that you haven't done before. And there's always resistance to change. But this week in particular, water signs, you're being nudged towards change. Okay? I like what I see. I think that's a great energy overall for all that are present. All right, let's now go a little bit deeper into the special topic for today, leaving no stone unturned. And again, what I'm going to do as I look at this spread is try to figure out where you might be blocked, because that's part of the equation, and I'll help you out there. Okay? Let's give the cards a shuffle, and I know I'm going to be a little bit tight on space here, so bear with me. I'm just happy that I got a hotel room that had a table to work at. All right. Here we go. No stone unturned. What do we need to focus on? Very nice. Another world card, fantastic. All right, let's expand this a little bit and see health, wealth, love, and destiny. And yeah, if you're brand new, I do this every Sunday. I even took a later flight out today so that I could make sure that I was here on time for everybody. So, all right, let's begin. Starting off with the Catalyst energy. Oops. So we have a really beautiful card here in the Catalyst. Sorry for any noise there. The Catalyst card here is a starfish. Not a starfish, I'm sorry, a seahorse. And it's reversed. So this is actually nice because some of these things tend to deplete energy. So in this we see sacrifice, caretaking, and rigidity. This is why I read reversals. Sometimes they take a difficult card and tell you what you need to focus on to eliminate it. And that's exactly what's happening here. So in the week ahead, you don't have to sacrifice one thing for another. A great example of this when we're looking at love, you shouldn't have to mute your light or change who you are in order for someone else to love you. If they're asking for that, demanding that, or expecting that, it is a gigantic red blinking light. Go in the other direction. The other one here, caretaking. So you can still take care of others, but don't neglect yourself. In other words, make sure that you are eating well, sleeping right, taking care of your mental and physical and spiritual health, that no rock there is left unturned, that you're okay. Because I'm flying so much lately, they will remind you, if you are a parent or whatever, you put on your oxygen mask first, then your kids. You always want to make sure that you're okay. And just in general, if you're a parent, you need to make sure that you're eating and sleeping and healthy, because the little one depends on you, okay? So take care of yourself. Don't feel like you have to sacrifice happiness or a part of you in order for someone else to accept you. And then being more open, less rigid, particularly for the signs that got the World card. Expansion, and everybody this week really, because we got the Death and Rebirth card, because change requires openness, fluidity, and the ability to think, what if? Why not? And that's going to help you out. Let me take a quick drink and then we're going to move into the Celtic Cross here. Okay. I was very excited to see the World in the Two of Wands here, because we actually have multiple globes. Like, that is a globe. She's holding the globe here. And you might actually have two choices in front of you in love, in career, in life. There may be two great things happening at once that you need to balance. So even though we don't have the Two of Pentacles, it's like a little bit of that would be coming through down the line. But it's good. What you need to work through, again, is not accepting less, because we have two cards of lack here. Don't worry, I'll go into all of them because I know they're cut off a little bit. But everything is moving you towards the Star, which is expansion and authenticity. The World, more expansion. Good stuff this week. I feel like it's going to be a breakthrough week for many of you. Don't rush. We're going to start off with the center card. We have Hanged Man energy coming through in the reverse state. So if you just wait and kind of soak it all in today, the Hanged Man, as we can see here, it's almost like they're pulling the veneer, pulling back the curtain. Something is revealed when you have to have a delay. And in life, I've learned that sometimes, like, if you get denied for like a job that you want, or a degree that you applied to this school, didn't work out, but you got into another one. Sometimes you meet the important person that you're supposed to at that other school, or you find out that the job that you applied to went bankrupt, a couple weeks or a couple years later. So the universe has a way of nudging you. It's almost, nobody plays pinball machines anymore, but it's kind of like back in the 80s where there were pinball machines and you have these two levers on the side. The universe is kind of nudging you in different directions. Not here, a little over here. Try this. It's trying to help you find the right connection. So if you are feeling like you're meeting a delay this week, hang out with that delay for a second and do what she's doing. Look at it from another angle. Where is the energy open? What else can I do? What should I be focusing on? Why did this happen? You can ask all of those questions. Curiosity is key. It will help you figure it out. And there is no rush. Like, that is a big bumper sticker from today's reading. People may try to put a rush on something that is speaking more to their own need or desire than your own. So don't rush. In fact, we have a beautifully illustrated Empress card that shows the little baby here, which is, you can't rush like birth. You can, but you don't want to. You don't want something to be premature. So we can see, if we zoom in a little bit closer, little baby at the center here, she's taking her time. She cares about whatever this next phase of her life is going to be. So anything worth doing is doing right the first time. I love that if we were just to look at it this way, it's almost like a bouquet of flowers. But anyway, we have an upright Empress coming forth, and she's saying, in this period of time, I've worked hard. I'm leaning into my own authority, my own agency, my own communication, my ability to be an entrepreneur. So take charge. This is very much a take charge sort of week. And even if you're not used to doing it, practice makes perfect. I'm a geek and I like the Pride and Prejudice. And I always love, there's a line in there where like Elizabeth Bennet, she's saying, she doesn't practice the piano that much, and she's talking to Mr. Darcy, and he doesn't practice communicating that much. And his aunt had just told her that she needs to practice. She's like, maybe you need to practice too, practice communicating. So we all have our areas of where we need to practice, and it gets better over time. It's better to try than not to, because it can sometimes give off the wrong impression. So if you are socially awkward, like he was, just try. If you are trying to perfect something technical, it doesn't always work the first time. If I go back and look at my first, one time we'll do it because this is my 10th year, so doing YouTube. And officially around, I think March to May is when I kind of really started doing all the signs. So we'll do something special. I work with my editor. But early videos were just like a MacBook Air or something, not even using an external mic. It was terrible. But you have to practice, you have to try. The quality was always there, content, but confidence in speaking, technical acumen, not there. You have to take your time. So don't be so hard on yourself, guys. It takes time. Just keep practicing. Practice makes perfect, okay? We have the Magician here in the deep past, and this is, it's kind of like a bag of tricks here. So there are many ways to solve a problem. In fact, this is why the Hanged Man is happening. It's asking you to think your way through a situation. This is a can-do attitude. So back when I had a more corporate job, I had a boss that was I had many bosses that were demanding. So I'll conflate them all together and give you one piece of advice. If I didn't know something, I would say, let me look into it. I wouldn't pretend to know, but I would say, I think I can figure this out, but I'm going to need some time. Can I have a day? Can I look into it? Can I talk to this person? So I would never say I don't know. I would say I'll find out. I'll talk to somebody. I'll get back to you tomorrow. So that's the Magician attitude. I don't know it yet, but I'll figure it out. So you're going to get yourself in less trouble by doing that than promising or saying something. I can think of so many examples of people that just fake it or lie, and it gets them into trouble. So don't do that. Say instead, let me look into that, and I'll give you some options tomorrow. You're not even saying you're going to solve it. You're going to say, I'll find what's available. We'll talk again. We'll regroup tomorrow. So you don't have to use it so corporate, but like to yourself, just think, how can I figure this out? Who can I talk to? And that gets you into the can-do attitude, which is the Magician. The Magician also is a miraculous card. Magic. Magic is something, I wrote about this in my first book that I wrote, which was, it's a new truth waiting to be discovered. We call it magic because we don't understand it. That's it. It's just a lack of understanding, but it works. So if something's working, just work with the magic, and you don't always have to understand every little piece of it. That's for those of you that are out there that have a gift. And it doesn't have to always be art. The friend that I was staying with, one of his children is amazing with math. Like Einstein amazing with math. I was listening and it was so far out there that I was like, this is something that you were born to bring into this planet. Some people have a voice and they can sing. Some people can write. Some people can solve problems. But did I ever wonder how or where that came from? No, I just observed the gift. Whatever your gift is, lean into it this week. And if you don't feel you have one, practice makes perfect. So you can develop it. So yes, some of us come into this lifetime with a gift, but it's because we worked on it really hard in previous lifetimes. So if you don't have it yet, create your next lifetime's blessing and work hard, and it'll happen. You'll get some level of acumen this lifetime as well. But magic, believe in it, go with it, focus, okay? And don't question it when things work out. They work sometimes because we're still learning about the universe. All right, let's take a look here at recent past. We have the Temperance card coming forth. And in this situation, so we have 2 cards this week about slowing down. And the center one is important because it's asking us to look at it upside down, inside out, or from a different angle. This is probably the most aligned card to the topic heading as we can get. So leave no rock unturned or no stone unturned. She is looking at things in a way that we normally wouldn't. So be unconventional in your approach. Take on your own agency, authority, or entrepreneurial energy and put it into that. Try something because it feels right. And then listen to your gut. This is another angel card, even though not illustrated as such here. But Temperance has 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land, and is testing the water. Behind the Temperance angel is a path. I normally associate this card with April. We're very close to that. So it feels like things are maybe like about 6 weeks from fruition. Don't rush. Keep tuning in 1 step at a time. She is also balancing things out a little bit. I forgot about that because this is unconventional. So normally the Temperance angel, it has 2 cups. And so this is about weighing it. Like, what is the opportunity cost? What is the outpouring of energy that I have to put into this? And does it balance out? So we're not just looking at money. We're looking at time, dedication, emotions. I really want you to slow down and think, what is the reciprocal quality of this? Is it reciprocated? Am I getting what I'm giving, or am I just giving? Because one of the things that we saw with the seahorse this week is you can't sacrifice your health. You have to take care of yourself, and you have to be more fluid with how you're moving forward in order to be able to go the distance. All right, let me take a drink, and then we're going to talk about 2 really important cards that are kind of blocking the star. So I always like to help you find where the blocks are too. All right. Just checking in on the comments there. All right, so we're going to start off with the crowning card here. And in the crowning position, we have a card that is limiting potential. So let's just look at it in the upright position. 4 of Pentacles. In this one, we see a bunch of padlocks, and we see a person kind of locked behind those limits. Traditional illustration. We see someone holding a coin over their heart. Not just holding, but like kind of like a blanket for dear life. Then we see 1 on their head, 2 beneath them. I think that's it. Yeah, that's 4. So I like to refer to it as the devil you know because it's comfortable, it's convenient, it's in front of you, but it's not enough. And sometimes we stick in relationships, jobs, and situations because at least we know what to expect. But if you're not getting what you want out of it, it's time to look beyond. This at least is break even. This is not. You're giving more than you're getting. We want to at least get you to 50-50, okay? But you can get so much more than that because Star, World, and 2 of Wands, Even this Nine of Cups, celebratory energy, very good. So there may be someone in your life that doesn't want to let you go. It may have nothing to do with you, by the way. This can be your boss that isn't giving you your promotion. This can be a parent that doesn't want you to move to a college, out of town or something. This can be a partner that is kind of holding you back in your dreams and aspirations because they have a limited worldview, or they just don't want to see you go too far, shine too much, or be out there too much. So don't allow a projection of a limitation limit you unless you want to be limited. I'm here just to kind of paint the picture. If you don't want it, don't do it. But I see this particular week, it changes week to week, but in this week, the energy is beaming outward. So unless you are trying to constrain it, don't, because the possibilities seem kind of limitless this week, and that's a good thing. The Star card. We'll talk more about this in a second, but the Star card is as illustrated here, it's almost a wish granted. And so we have Fairy Godmother here, we have the Magician here. So that's why I want you to believe in your capacity to create something. The Star shines the light, shines the way, leads the way. So just because something hasn't been done before does not mean that it won't be done in the future. We look back to science fiction and comics even. So Dick Tracy, I have my watch off, but and it's charging, so I'll have it for the flight home. But our smartwatches now, irrespective of which brand you have, we can make phone calls, we can see our calendar, look at our email, make a text, and you can talk on the phone. That's very much Dick Tracy. Our iPads are very much Star Trek, the tricorders and all of that. And just our capacity we still want to reach different planets and reach the world. We're doing it with probes right now, but you have to dream it first, and then you figure out how to do it. So keep dreaming, keep thinking. You may be the one that kind of lights the way. Science fiction usually becomes science fact if there's enough sort of tangible science in it. So dream the dream. For those that are Aquarius out there, this is a good sign for you. There could be a very good week where you're just being in the spotlight. This is also spotlight energy for everybody. So there could just be someone in your life that really sees your potential and says, hey, can you help out with this? Or someone taps on your shoulder and asks you to speak up, or wants to pull you into something. We have the Two of Cups actually here coming through again. So I do think there could be an unexpected partnership or alliance. Lean into it. Someone else sees your potential before you do, okay? And so you asked me today to focus on hidden potential. It's right there. But you may not see it. I see it. Someone around you sees it. There may be someone who doesn't want you to go because they also know what they would be missing. So if you need to stay, this is more for like a financial or work situation. Say, I know my worth. This isn't it. And you have a good chance of accomplishing it. Again, using facts. Remember we had, for air signs this week, we had the owl. So you can state common practices, best practices, other things out there. Make sure that you're using information, and remember what I mentioned with negotiation. Just ask a question. Is this normal? What can we do this? Have you thought about this? Rather than demands, ask a question. Because sometimes when you ask a question, it almost sounds like a statement, and you can infer, or they can infer, you can imply that there's come on now, right? But you don't have to say that. So it's all in how you present it. Use your communication skills this week. You have a good chance to negotiate. Be kind, be neutral, be strong. They're all compatible. Don't be simply demanding, and if you are emotionally charged, delay. That's why the Hanged Man is there. Wait until the emotions have subsided. There's no rush. You can't take words back. Ten of Swords represents the spilled words sometimes too. Health. So one of the reasons I'm in a hotel this particular leg of the journey is the family that I was visiting. There were a few people that were sick, and I was like, we're not getting sick. So I wanted to take care of myself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, which is what I've been doing each day. Eat well. If you need, again, any sort of self-care, whether it is talking to a therapist, going to a massage therapist, talking to your doctor, whatever it is that you need, do that. Because the Five of Pentacles can be running yourself down. So I made sure that I caught up on all my sleep, that I ate properly. that I'm okay, that I'm not stressed out, because that's the one thing I can control is stress and self-care. So please do that for yourself as well. Financially speaking, this card represents finding an equilibrium, but not, we want to tip the scales towards profit, progress, and having more than enough. I want you to be at 6 of Pentacles, not 5, but this is a nice progression. So one thing this week is just to get your feet on the ground, to get your health in a good place, to get your emotions there. I will be happy if all of you get to even and neutral. So that's kind of the goal first, is to find your neutral, find your grounding, because otherwise you're not going to be able to carry the star energy, the world energy, the Two of Wands energy. So maybe it's half the week. You're just going to focus on getting that. Then you start to plant the seeds of more, and you start to open yourself up to receive. So that will help you a bit. Don't overspend. Don't push yourself too hard this week. And there may be some healing to be done, but we'll look at that in relationships. It's really more about mother and father, or the closest kind of mentor in your life. But we have more to talk about, and I'll look at that in relationships. So let's look at 9 of Cups here, because we're going to do a full Celtic Cross regular this week. I like to change it up, but this week we will benefit from kind of doing a deeper dive. All right, in the environment, there could be someone around you that is unpredictable. 9 of Cups in the upright position is usually very joyous. In the reverse, it can be someone who has extreme highs and lows. So sometimes they come in and it's like Chicken Little, the sky is falling, worst day ever. By afternoon, it's like, oh my gosh, and it's a complete swing. It could be just their personality, it could be something more. There could also just be something about the place that you're spending your time, whether it's it could be both your job and your home, but there's something about it that either elevates or accentuates emotions. So try to find environments that bring you a sense of calm. And it can also just be taking some time in the morning or evening. Meditation can be like a bubble bath or a warm shower. And even if it is, for those of you that are very busy, have a family, have a job, take that 10 or 15 minute shower and just let it all go. Sometimes I listen to music, sometimes I listen to a podcast, but I'll put it on in the background, and then I just imagine that the water coming out of the spigot is just like light, and it's shining through me, and it's getting rid of all the garbage, and everything I don't need goes down the drain. It's kind of a meditation. So you can do that with just a simple act. And even brushing your teeth, the stuff that you don't want, you spit it out in the sink and it's done. All these acts that kind of clean your body, you can imagine you're cleaning the energy out too. So you can meditate with mundane tasks, and sometimes you have to when you're busy. So don't be afraid to do that if you need to. You can make time for meditation. Please don't overdo it when it comes to any sort of substance this week. That includes a common one like caffeine, but definitely nicotine, anything that you normally lean on as a crutch, don't overdo it this week. Energy drinks are also a part of that. Just regular eating, drinking, exercise, working, anything that you go to an extreme on normally kind of like pull back. Opportunity is knocking. So we have the World card here in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities. It could be bigger than you think. The positive thing, the possibilities. What you are looking for could be in a different city, state, country, province, etc. So we're looking at pushing out the boundaries, pushing out the possibilities, and going as far as possible. It's like the sky. Just because today I'm looking, I'm on the East Coast in the Mid-Atlantic region. Today I've seen snow and then rain, and now it's kind of like something in between. But I can't see more than maybe a mile. But I know that there's something beyond that. I just can't see it. So weather is a great example of limiting environmental things. And so I think you have to get out of your environment. We had the 8 of Cups coming through this week for some of the signs, or on one of the days, I can't remember. So whenever that 8 of Cups message came through, this is really for you. It's about getting away from the storm, the emotional storm, the work storm, maybe the physical storm, so that you can see what else is out there. I don't deal with rain or gray very well. I can deal with snow. So I like bright sunny days. I can deal with a bright snowy day, but I don't like dreary days. So for me, environments are very important, and sometimes you have to get out of an environment if you're feeling like that seasonal affect disorder. Great time for travel. For those of you that have a business, the World card is showing a potential to go bigger, to globalize, to distribute, to announce, to broadcast. It's just really good. This week, a lot can be done, and you can have a breakthrough. It does require the neutrality first, the communication as well, and then really leaning into the star energy. Star and world work together, okay? Now, I love the outcome, which is saying that you might have not... Here's a cool thing. Some of you are thinking, I don't know what to do. Is anything going to happen? And not only is the universe saying, yes, something can happen, but you might have a choice of two. Because we're working on the magician energy, coming up with this sort of like dream, if you will. And then we have the star power here where people are attracted to you. And then we have the expansion energy of the world. So you might have to actually make a choice when it's all said and done. Now, Two of Wands is also a call to action. So if you're feeling stuck, this is saying you need to make time to think about the next things in your life. So, one of the reasons I'm traveling, if you're brand new and you're wondering, why is Nicholas in a new location every week this month? Because of the fires in Los Angeles, the air quality is terrible. There's like asbestos, heavy metals, dirt, and also the particulate matter from the fires themselves. Thankfully, the weather is kind of starting to clean the air out, but I had to take a break. I had to get out. Not everyone can do that too. I realized that. But I was also thinking to myself, if I needed to not be in this part of the city or this state, what else would be out there? And I hadn't thought about that. So I needed to Two of Wands it, if you will, and start to look and think and get out of the space a little bit and just think, what do I want? How does this work? This works with careers. Like, what's the next big thing in your career? For some of you that are graduating school, starting to plant the seeds for employment before you get out there, that helps. If you're thinking of retiring, what is the next 10 to 20 years going to look like? It's dreaming without pressure. It's like, what do I want? What do I need? Then you can start to get into the Queen of Pentacles energy. How am I going to make this happen? So all I want you to do this week is to dream and think beyond the present. Because you might be able to get your dreams, but you have to be able to plan, and you don't want to be caught unaware. And in a moment where you're like, I don't know, I'll figure that out. So give yourself a chance to plan and dream. You'll be glad that you did. Let's expand this and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And we're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. Let's see what's going on here. So I mentioned teamwork makes the dream work here, and we have the Two of Cups. This is a great time for you to really focus on spending time with people you love. Again, I walk the walk and talk the talk. One of the best things that has happened out of that experience that I just talked about is I spent time with 2 different sets of cousins and a great friend from school that I hadn't seen in a long time. And all of them had big families. And I'm someone who doesn't really have, a lot of direct, like my mom and dad are gone and I don't have brothers or sisters. So it was nice to be put into 3 different families over the course of a month. Because it reminded me I do have family, just not immediate. So I have expanded and extended family, and I've chosen family. So this is showing you to look around and create it or reconnect with it if you'd like to. And it's a great time to put more energy into, it can be the community, like giving back to the community. It can be making time for love. But there's people in the picture, and that will help your mental health. However that feels right for you. That's the takeaway. Other messages for health in general. I mentioned that if you are overworking, you might get sick. Don't overwork. Don't burn the candle at both ends. Get enough sleep, quality and quantity. You know what's best for you. Again, avoid excess alcohol, nicotine, or food or exercise, anything in excess. Not great. A change of environment could do you very good, and it might be a chance to kind of like take a day or two and just clear your head. Let's see. And the Hanged Man is also, both the Five of Pentacles and Hanged Man show that there might be some sensitivities or injuries with the ankle, foot, or leg itself. Focus on circulation, be kind to yourself, don't lift anything too heavy. There may be some of you that are getting pregnant or looking to add to your family. Again, pace yourself, be kind to yourself, and make sure that you're getting enough rest. Four of Pentacles is the holding on of tension. Typically, it is the neck, the shoulders, and the upper back. You may also be holding it here in the sort of heart center We don't want that. That's not good. It can affect breathing. It can affect your health of your heart. So anything that you can do with respect to like yoga, breathing, meditation, and rest to kind of like just take care of the respiratory system and again, opening up the heart space, so stretching and making sure that you're opening up the chest would be very, very good. Otherwise, it's a fairly manageable week and I'm getting pretty good energy here. I think it's mostly just opening up to allowing others to step in and give you some help. Let's take a look at wealth, resources, life purpose, and career. We have a good card here, Queen of Pentacles. I mentioned we would need to bring her into the picture. We have to do this first though. The dreaming, the exploring, and then she comes forth. So this is a great week to talk about money and not to underestimate your capacity to nurture, to create, to bring about something. You've definitely got what it takes. And all the stuff that we saw here with the seahorse here, sacrifice, caretaking, and rigidity, the reversal of those would be the Queen of Pentacles. Taking care of others and yourself, being open, being nurturing, just make sure that you're not limiting it to others. Also put it in your own life and your own energy. Okay, we're gonna break this one down a little bit deeper and look at subcategories. So let me give the cards a shuffle and we'll see what's coming through here. So we're gonna look at those that are currently employed. Then we'll look at entrepreneurs. And then we're gonna take a look at those who are seeking employment. I love this deck, but it's hard to shuffle the cards. So job seekers. Then we're gonna look at those that are students, followed by retirees. Okay, let's begin first with those of you that currently have a job. You've made a decision, but you haven't decided what to do about the decision. And so this is judgment, karma in this deck. I actually love karma as an option for this. Because the scales of justice and karma kind of work together. So there may be someone who's finally getting their due in a positive way. They may also be facing, some difficulties. That is their choice. For yourself, though, I usually see judgment as a chance to accept. So sometimes we know what we need to do, but it's not that we're rejecting, it's like that we're denying ourselves the next step in that. So just sit for a moment and think, if you think I'm done with this or I really want this, focus on integrating that understanding and then what's next. If you reached a dead end, because this is also like a cousin to death. Normally in this card, we see souls rising up from the dead. It isn't the stop that you think it is. It is allowing you to do something else. So sometimes someone breaks up with us so that we can connect with a better partnership because that person wasn't what we needed and or vice versa. Sometimes when we lose a job, it's so that we are freed from a toxic environment. Sometimes it just isn't the right time, or sometimes things have served their purpose. I'll take judgment over the Tower. Judgment is a natural ending. The karmic cycle is done, so it exits. You didn't do anything wrong. The karma has been cleared. But now we're left with a clean slate, and we have to decide, like the phoenix, am I ready to rise up, or am I just going to stay here in the ashes? So this is a chance to rise up and look beyond what has already come to pass. Don't could've, would've, or should've the situation, okay? Quickly looking at the cards, and then we'll move on to the next category. I think the biggest challenge for those that are presently employed is demanding your worth. We have the worth here in the Queen of Pentacles, but we're lacking it in what's going on around you. So speaking up, using your wisdom and your neutrality, try to say that 5 times fast, staying cool, calm, and collected, that's gonna be the key to success. You may also open yourself up to travel or relocate, or transfer within a current company, and that could help out, okay? Let's move on and look at those that are currently self-employed or own your own business. 2 of Cups, once again, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to delegate. You may actually be thinking of bringing a partner into your practice or into your business. Also, reach out to customers for some support. This is especially true for good word of mouth, good reviews. There are obviously some things that you have to follow with respect to rules, but you can usually say if you enjoyed this, one way that you can help is by leaving a review. You don't have to say positive review, just say remember to review the product or whatever. Get the word of mouth out there. And also, if you haven't done a lot of events, like in-person events or speaking events, this is kind of a call to think about that as a potential. There's something going on with your price point. Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles are limited, or the profit margin isn't what you need. For some of you, there's an opportunity to either cut out something that's underperforming, or if you have a lot of demand and you can't keep up with it, slightly raise your price so that you're making enough profit. I get that some of you are just really great business people and don't want to do that, but you can't sacrifice profit. Eventually, you can't do the product or service. So you got to find the sweet spot where it's just enough and it's still a great deal. Because that's business, right? So you'll find the happy medium there. I'm just kind of calling out the obvious. And I also think this is a great time for expansion. So you might just have to cut out something that's stagnating here so that the new thing can be birthed, released, and created. Moving on to those that are job seeking. It's a good time, actually. Strength card. Don't be afraid to be a little bit more assertive than you normally would. This is one of the most assertive cards in the major arcana. She's not afraid to speak up or check in, push a little bit. And in an interview, you can also ask an important question or push back on something that isn't reasonable. But using your voice, speaking from the diaphragm, speaking up, practicing a little bit, I just feel like you're well positioned to shine. Not only that, we have the Star card here. So it's not really a question of if you can land something. I think you can. It's more a question of price. Are you getting what you deserve? And this is where you have to speak up a little bit. And this is not a pushover card. She's gonna speak to accomplishments. She's gonna speak to having seen the world and worked in different industries and different things. Whatever it is, the perspective that she brings in. So don't be afraid to kind of connect to that strength card. Can it happen this week? Yes. But it may take a couple of weeks before this is finalized. And I really would encourage you to look way beyond the normal pocket or industry or geographical location that you normally do. We have two cards here showing bigger bigger geographical sort of spread. Okay? Now let's take a look at students. It's like perfect. This is a card of apprenticeship, reading, fine print, all of that. So this is a great time to be a student. There's a lot that you can absorb in the moment. Please do that. This is also a really great time if you're thinking of going back to school for any particular reason to do that, because you would benefit from whatever that new skill is. Here's what I love about this. This is going to open up many opportunities and possibly two different paths for you if you're open to that. Or you may be looking at 2 majors or 2 degrees in the long run. The challenges, self-care and health. You could be getting sick if you push yourself too much. Also, if there may simply be someone who is very close-minded or very specific on how they want something done. I can think of like 3 teachers in different parts of my past where I just kind of, you kowtow and you're like, all right, if this is required to get my degree, I don't know if I'm going to throw myself on the sword for this. I don't think it's worth it. I'll just do what they say and then know that in the real world, this isn't necessary. I see a limited point of view. You can talk to your advisor or your dean and see what's possible. Sometimes you can transfer classes, but we're pretty much into the semester now. So I would say just push through it. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. That definitely did come through as one thing. All right, now let's focus on retirees. We have, but one last thing, actually, before we go to retirees. Traveling abroad and internships, looking at things in another part of the world would be very helpful. This kind of files into retirees as well, because look what we've got here, a card of travel. So whether it's just trying something different in your own community and getting out there, or legitimately saying, hey, I want to travel. Yes, please. Some of you are also at a new juncture where things look unfamiliar and you're navigating something new, because this can just be a card of navigating. Big challenges right now for everybody, but especially retirees. This could also be children in your life too, but it's either you or the children that you love. There might be someone that's sick. Please slow down, take care of yourself. Finances could limit how often or how far you travel, but we have the Magician this month, which is great at finding a deal or finding a way. So where there's a will, there's a way. One way that you could do it is maybe to travel with someone else. Maybe there are some discounts, coupons, or opportunities, especially for senior citizens rather. So like look at all of those potential travel opportunities and see, here's the no rock unturned. Google, research, ask. There are resources out there, okay? All right, I think that's everything. Let's move on. We're gonna go now and take a look at love and relationships. So we have one of the best cards for love, the Six of Cups. It doesn't look like it normally does. Normally there are children on this card. And with this, they are kind of like two kids, heart to heart, face to face, cup to cup, kind of saying, this is fun, this is great. So it could just be you deciding to reconnect with an old friend or a family member. We talked about healing things, and I'll get into that for sure. I just remembered that. But whatever we're looking at here, this is very favorable. The work that you put into relationships should be reciprocated, and I really want you to follow the spaces and the places where that energy is. But if you're looking for love, this is great. What I love about this is that you don't always see how relationships balance out. There could be someone that is the rock or the roots of the relationship, and someone that just kind of like shines, but they're both bringing something to the equation. So very complementary energy is what I'm seeing, and very compatible energy this week. Let's briefly take a look at 3 subcategories and see what Spirit has to say here. Okay, so we're going to look at those in a relationship. Then we're going to look at those who are single and looking. And then we're going to look at single and happy. They're all reversed, so just pacing yourself again as part of this. Okay, starting off first with those that are in a relationship. We have the Four of Wands, and it was reversed, so it's just saying don't underestimate the importance of friendship and just sort of like, it's not the passion, it's the partnership, the other P word. So partnership, friendship, and just grounding energy. That's really what you want to lean into. All the things that we see here, because this represents like a wedding, at the beginning where you decided like this is the one that I want to spend time with. Go back to that and remind yourself why you're committed. And make some space and some time for the partner. And activities that really just lean into that energy of partnership. Partnership and again, just sort of like really knowing that you have each other's backs. In an existing relationship, here are your challenges. A little bit of, what's the word here, like self-worth. This is probably coming through because there might have been overly critical parents or teachers. So you and or your partner, now we're getting to the point here, may be dealing with healing family wounds. Have you ever noticed, may not be in your relationship, but you can see it in friends and family. Sometimes people marry a template of something that existed in their family. So if there was bad communication, bad finances, abuse, whatever, there'll be a little bit of that sometimes in the relationship that mirrors what happened with their mom, their dad, their grandparent, etc. So what we want to do is go back to the root wound and say, I don't need the lesson anymore. I don't need that. Heal the wound. See what happens then in the partnership, because no longer does the partner have to teach. Then you can get back into that energy of just being there for each other. And if they're ready to elevate, they will. And if not, then you'll know where you stand. So there needs to be a familial or a childhood healing here. Excuse me, let me just drink some water. Okay, other things. What I'm sensing is it's almost like you come from 2 different worlds. There are some aspects of your life where maybe you are from different religious backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, or geographical locations, and it can create some issues when it comes to communication. But what I love is that there's still chemistry. There's still a lot of love. It looks like you can be yourself here, and I think the main thing here is to try to meet in the middle. And that's kind of what the Two of Wands is doing. Instead of feeling like there's a world of difference, she's holding the world and kind of shrinking the distance. So if you can do that, you're good. Don't speak when you're upset. We don't have the Ten of Swords, but the Nine of Cups can lead into that if you are impatient or hasty. So really be kind to yourself and really make sure that you're not sort of like throwing salt on a wound. Otherwise, I like what I see. Again, this can be a time when there might be extension of family. So congrats if you were looking to get pregnant. Be careful if you're not. All right, let's move on to those that are looking for a relationship. We have Knight of Cups energy. He is reversed. It's saying yes, comma, but make sure you slow down and ask yourself, am I ready? Do I want this? Is this the right time? Also, the person coming into your life during this period of time may be really ready to settle down. And so you have to make sure that you're ready as well and first. I have the Star and Magician energy here. Plus we have Six of Cups. Can you meet someone? Absolutely. May sweep you head over heels. That's also what this represents. And they probably have some differences in background, language, culture, or just life experience in general. You may be from the same city, but different walks of life. So take it a step at a time. It can happen pretty fast, and I don't feel like you really have to do much except get out there, because these are exploration cards. It's not an app, it's more like out and about, okay? So fairly good. There may also be someone that you meet that has a child or really wants to start a family. I just get the commitment energy coming through loud and clear. By the way, looking at love, couldn't get 4 better cards if I tried. Six of Cups, Four of Wands, Knight of Cups, the Lovers. Hello! I love it when they're just obviously aligned with the category. Now moving on to those that are single and happy. Yeah, you are, but guess what? There's a lot of energy for partnership and love. So get out there. And for you, the love is different things. It can be like Apollo, who's hiding in the background. It could be spending time with, yeah, that's you, buddy, that I'm talking about. A fur baby in your life. It could be, again, outreach, community outreach, something with faith, something with school. But there's no lack of people that want to connect with you. Also, it's a great card if you're focusing on career. The Lovers is your ability to really thrive and get people to pay attention to you. For those that are single and happy, travel comes through loud and clear. And again, this breakthrough or breakout moment with the Star card. Now let's take a look at Destiny, and we have the Nine of Cups coming through. All right, so this is celebration, and we got it in the environment. The environment one was a little bit heavier though, because the Nine of Cups was reversed. So what we see here is, again, pulling yourself away from an environmental tension, distraction, etc. can give you the clarity and the sort of like peace of mind to realize that there is something worth celebrating. There is something worth exploring, okay? Quickly looking at this from the perspective of leaving no stone unturned. Now I'm just gonna look at it high level here. All right, so there may be perceived limits with resources, but I don't see them here. So I think that the main thing is if you're not getting what you need where you're at, look beyond that. It's a great time to research. I think that you have a chance to shine, so don't second guess it if that shining moment comes. You may be looking at doing something on your own. Yes, Empress, Star, and World, they're all connected to being your own boss, being your own sort of support beam if you need to. Spiritual and intellectual development came through a few times here, but generally speaking, the takeaway here was yes, slow down, and the resources seem limited now, but they're not going to stay that way. So the present limitation has more to do with the people or the situation or the environment in which you live. That's why it's important to get some perspective and look beyond the existing borders and see what else is out there, okay? Let's meditate, and then we're going to take a look at one final question for today. A quick reminder, if you enjoyed this, a great way to show support is to like, subscribe, and on the replay, leave a comment. I read every single message, and I appreciate all of you. You can also give me a follow on social media. We'll talk more about all of that later, but let's take a moment now to meditate. So, as I look out the window, it's snowing. So let's use the energy of snow, because it actually can be quite interesting to work with. So imagine, if you will, that you're waking up and it's the morning after a snowstorm. And as you look out at the distance, the sun is rising. It's shining its light on all these little glittering diamonds that are the snowflakes. And you start to feel warmth within your heart, warmth within your mind. And it's almost like you're starting to radiate out the same energy as the sun. And as you do that, You see this connection between you and the sun, and this ray of light that starts to melt away all of the snow. And imagine now that you see a path in front of you where there was none before. And as you take a few deep breaths, the snow gives way to spring to summer, and you see that there was the potential all along for growth, for movement, for ease. It's about finding the right time, the right place, the right energy. And a lot of what we saw today revolved around patience and power. So I really want you to feel the power and the neutral energy within, and wait for the path to reveal itself, then take one step at a time. Take a moment now in this energy, because we had the star card, and just feel that you are the light, you are the beacon, you are the lighthouse, and shine a path on where you want to go next, and think to yourself, it's not if, but when this is going to happen. And as the next few days and weeks pass, allow yourself to start to pick up on signs and signals along the way. All right, when you're ready, please open your eyes. We're going to take a look at one final question. It can be anything that I have yet to answer, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. All right, interesting card. So if it was a yes or a no, it's a not yet. And the reason that it would be a not yet is either you're not ready to see everything for what it is, or someone around you isn't. With Five of Swords energy, you can do it, but it's a little bit of a headache like we saw here. So in a relationship, it's someone that's not ready to truly sort of to be there in the way that you need him. It can also be an inner saboteur coming through, and you really want to work on thinking, I can, I will, I am, and focus on self-worth in this period of time. Generally speaking, Five of Swords, save your breath, save your energy, save your time. If there's someone that just doesn't want to listen, there's only so much you can do. This also includes people in your life that have unhealthy habits, whether they smoke, drink, or overwork, or whatever. We all have extremes. All you can do sometimes is hold up a mirror, or show support, or leave a door open. You don't want to get into a point where you feel like you're nagging someone who isn't open to listen. So pick and choose battles wisely. Don't waste time and energy on people that aren't ready to listen. And really fight the inner voice, because we can look at this as like a devil and angel card on our shoulders. So this would be the devil card, or a version of it, which comes through and says, you can't, you won't, and it gets under your skin. Meanwhile, you have like a beautiful card here, Temperance, which is kind and patient. And she's saying the path will reveal itself. Take care of yourself. Do what's right. Be patient. Don't go to extremes. So one that's extremist, one that's patient. Let's listen to the Temperance angel. Take one step at a time, and take time to balance out what you need in the equation. Okay? That was a deep and nuanced final card, but I hope it helped. All right. So I should be back in my normal apartment for next week. Thank you for letting me travel with you. There may be more traveling in the future. I've proven now that I can kind of do it, which makes it nice, actually. It liberated me a bit. I don't have to just stay in a studio and do all my stuff. So it means the quality, the location, all of that, like from a broadcast perspective, can change, but I think it's kind of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Let's take a couple moments to wrap up for today. By the way, since I'll be back in my normal space, I can start to kind of churn out all the monthly videos. That'll happen over the next couple of weeks. Okay. As I said, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a follow on social media as well. I'll be looking at Super Stickers, Super Chat, and memberships in just a few moments, but thanks in advance to everybody that did give back with that. You can always go to my website if you need more information about me. Remember, I don't offer private readings. I don't use direct messages, so be smart and be safe when it comes to that. And thank you everybody for showing up today and for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. And yay to almost being home. I appreciate that too. I'm ready to be back in my own apartment for at least a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look first at those of you that gave back with, let's see, we'll look at members first. While I'm pulling this tab up, quick reminder, we're actually close on the podcast to almost 30,000 views. Thank you. If you haven't checked it out, go to my podcast tab on my channel page and take a listen to the Matthias one. That's the most that we've done. That's great. If I get more like that, I can do more podcasts. So keep showing the love and support there. Okay. Now let's take a look at everybody that either renewed or received a gift, etc. So welcome to or welcome back to the following. Elisa, Drea, Chapter 3, Divine Empress, Trucker Tammy, Anya, Cuddly Koala, Exactly, Unification Inside, I think it is, Erica, C, Deep Insight, and let's see, I think Geraldine as well. Hopefully I got everybody. I'll try to mention some others if I missed you. And I know Dakota's getting all of those as well. Okay, now let's take a look at Super Stickers, Super Chat, and then I'll call out milestones. I know I forgot that last week. Okay, so Super Stickers and Super Chat. Thank you to Teresa, Anne, Monica, Jeannie, Color Me Happy, Pura Luce, Lucy, Schoolhouse, and twice in a row, Schoolhouse messages. Thank you so much. Okay, and now let's take a look here, if I can, at milestones and anybody that I might have missed. All right, and by the way, thank you to Dakota, as I'm doing all of this as well, for your assistance with the live chat. I do appreciate it. All right, so fan funding, let's see if I missed anyone. All right, Schoolhouse, thank you for the safe travels wishes. I do appreciate that. Tahoe, 43 months, so good to see you. And yeah, the travels definitely have renewed me, so thanks for asking. Let's see, for gifting a membership, thank you so much, Schoolhouse Intuitive, I appreciate that. Lori, thank you for 18 months of amazing membership and for the kind words, and I appreciate the safe trip wishes. I'm gonna be doing my best to get home safely. Let's see, Lucy, thank you for gifting a membership, that was kind. Tahoe, you did 5, you're always great and generous when it comes to that, thank you so much. Mira, I'm happy to see the 3 of Cups as well, let's bring it on. Colette, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. You're very kind. Let's see. I think I got everybody. Lisa, I saw you just gave $2. Thank you so much. Cindy, also thank you. Teresa, I think I missed all of you because you guys are doing it late. And Anne. All right, that's everything for today. All right, let me just go back to the main camera and just say, I appreciate you. Let's bring Apollo up for the end, and then I'm gonna pack everything up. This is one of my crazy ones here where I got a lot to do today. Hey buddy, I know. Thank you guys so much for being amazing. And again, I hope you enjoyed the traveling, the change of the locations. And I know this little guy is going to be happy to be back in LA. All right, have a great week ahead. Check out the daily videos, like I said, the podcast, and we'll start up with the next round of monthly videos soon. And I'm going to reverse the order, like I said, so everyone that waited won't have to wait this time. All right, until I see you again, be kind to yourselves. Remember this week to find your calm and zen energy. And until I see you next, all the best. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.